double down on your prospecting, double down on your follow-up.
They may not want to shop or move during the holiday or during the winter time. So there tends to be a little less competition. I take vacation, I totally understand that, but you have to plan it out.
All right, what's up guys? We are just getting started with the fourth quarter of the year. We're a couple weeks in, and we know that traditionally this is the time of the year when things slow down for agents, when things slow down for clients and all of the above. And we want to discuss today, like, what's the best way to approach the fourth quarter so that you can finish off the year strong and you can, you know, build that momentum into the new year. That's what we're going to talk about today. So Jason, 20 years of doing business now, right?
Yeah.
We've been through fourth quarters 20 times now, right?
Wow.
A long time, right? Let's break it down. Like, if we had to pick this thing apart and give some advice to the people watching out there, how should we be approaching the fourth quarter?
Yeah, I think there's a handful of things that must be done. I think, we always start off, our meetings or trainings with mindset. And I think that's a big thing going into the fourth quarter, understanding that the work you put in the fourth quarter translates over until the first quarter of 25 in this case, right? Yeah. So I think if you go into that understanding that you have to continue to do the things that you were doing the first, the second, and third quarter so that you can continue that momentum starting off in the new year, I think is important. Yeah. And if you understand that, then you're not, I hear some agents say they're going to take a month off in December or, which again, I take vacations, totally understand that, but you have to plan it out so that you still catch the momentum in 25. Yeah. So you're going to start off your year strong. Yeah. Right? And it all starts now.
It all starts now, right?
Starts now.
And it's a good point that you touch on, right? Because you said the work you put in now is going to dictate what happens in 25, right? Because what we have to remember as agents is that our business is always several months behind, right? Because let's say you meet with the client today and they want to go shop for homes or they want to sign a listing, whatever it might be, you're realistically not going to get a paycheck from that client for 2 to 3 months at a very minimum, right? And sometimes longer, right? If it's a listing, it might take longer to prep, get on the market. If it's a buyer, you might be spending a month shopping for homes, finally getting contract, and then you have to close escrow, right? Yeah. And so the lead generation that you do right now or the appointments you go on now are ultimately going to be the paychecks that you get in 2 or 3 months from now, right? Yeah,
definitely.
And so if you haven't been doing anything the last quarter, your fourth quarter,
you're basically
behind, right?
And you're restarting.
You're restarting.
Right? You're restarting building that pipe.
Yeah.
Where if you just consistently work this last quarter, and like you said, you'll have those opportunities come January, come February. You'll have a good Valentine's. Right?
Right? Good Valentine's, right?
You have a good Valentine's if you put in the work now.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's important to understand.
And we've seen that a lot too. And even in our business, right, as leaders, right, we're managing our own business, we're managing our team and stuff like that. We've experienced in the past where we didn't have such a good January. Yeah. Right. And it was because like the foot got taken off the gas, right? Whether it was by us or by the team or a combination, right? In those few months leading up to the new year. Yeah. Right?
No, definitely.
And then come January, like you're starting up again. Yeah. And then we didn't see the deal start really hitting until February, March, like you said, Valentine's, right?
And I think, we do a good job with our team explaining to them, Halloween is one day, Thanksgiving is one day, Christmas, is one day, and New Year's. And again, I really want to emphasize, I think it's important to take time with family, but just plan it out, right? It's not completely do nothing on your business, right? Plan it out and, still enjoy time with family, friends, and travel. But make sure you plan it out so that you can go in and have a good 2025 in this case. And I think the other advantage talking from a consumer standpoint is that if you're a buyer right now, in this time of the year, I think it's important to understand that there's some opportunities. Yeah. Right. There's definitely some opportunities because a lot of people they may not want to shop or move during the holiday or during the winter time. So there tends to be a little less competition. Yeah. Right. And we've seen that, year
We're seeing that right now, right? Yeah. We're seeing that right now where there's more homes on the market and there's less homes selling, which means if you're a buyer, there's more to choose from and you can negotiate better terms, or the homes are sitting on the market longer and they're not getting as many offers, not in every single area. There's still some areas that are just going crazy, but overall, like our market in general, it is kind of slowing down a little bit, right? It could be because of the time of the year, the election, the interest rates, a combination of all of that. Yeah. But think from it from a agent standpoint, how do I capitalize on that right now, right? How do I go into it strategically, right? We said at the beginning of this video, this is for someone who wants to finish the year strong.
Yeah.
If you're like, hey, I already crushed it this whole year, I'm taking some time off, and you have the leisure and you got the money in the bank and you have, not everyone's like that, right? But if you want to crush it, you got to be strategic.
Yeah.
Like leading up to Thanksgiving, right? Like that week is kind of...
Yeah, it's a little slower.
It's a little slower, right? Even though Thanksgiving's only one day, and then you got Black Friday or whatever.
Yeah.
But people, even the clients, start taking the whole week off.
You get the kids are off school. I mean, you have these situations where it tends to people kind of relax, and I think it's important for an agent, to inform their buyers, let them know of this type of market, right? A lot of times, I hear agents talking with potential buyers, and they're like, well, I'm waiting for a deal. Right, I'm waiting for this. Okay, well, you know what? Right now are when the deals are happening.
Yeah.
Right? This is the opportunity if you're looking for a deal is to get involved, get with your mortgage broker, get with your real estate agent if you're a consumer. And if you're an agent, get with your buyers and inform them that there's opportunity right now.
Yeah.
Right.
Sometimes when people want deals too, is the deal is not always seen, right?
Yeah.
Like the deal is realized later on. Like you could get a deal right now because you go put an offer on a home and there's only 2 offers instead of 10 offers, right? And maybe you pay a little bit over asking price, 20 grand, 40 grand instead of 100 grand. But you won't know that because you might be thinking, well, I'm still paying over asking.
Yeah.
But then come a few months from now when everyone's back to shopping again and now that same home is going 10 offers, 100 grand, that's when you're like, okay, well, maybe I did get a deal, right?
Yeah, you won't realize it until later.
You realize it later, right? But as an agent, I would explain it that way to my clients, right? Yeah. Use that script to explain it to them so that you can see, all right, who really wants to take advantage of the market right now. Right?
Yeah, and I think, it's, I'm hearing my agents reach out to clients right now. Buyers don't know that there's an opportunity, right? And I think maybe sometimes some of the agents, or we assume that people know, they don't know, right? Yeah. We're in the trenches. We're the ones that have our hand on the market. We have a pulse on the market, and it's our job as mortgage brokers, real estate agents to go ahead and give that value to our potential buyers and sellers.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, you're going to run into, this is another thing to realize, is you're going to run into these clients that just want to put things off, right?
Yeah.
It happens. There's going to be a percentage of clients, potential buyers and sellers who say, hey, look, I don't want to make a transaction happen during the holidays. I want to wait till the new year. So how do I approach that strategically as an agent? What do I do in those situations?
Yeah, what I've been doing, where I've been coaching our agents with is, one is obviously, people are going to buy when they're ready to buy, which is totally fine. But I think it's just, our job to go ahead and just illustrate the opportunity, right? And what I mean by that is illustrating to them like, hey, look, rates are lower than they were before. And there's less competition because a lot of buyers are thinking like you, that they want to wait until the new year or wait till after the elections. So if there's less competition, that means that it's possible to get a better deal, we can negotiate a better deal with the seller and the listing agent. So it's just giving that information and then also showing stats, showing numbers that, hey, look what happened last year in 2023 during this season. Yeah. And where the numbers went, where the properties have grown in equity after that. And I think it's important to illustrate that to the buyer. Ultimately, they're going to make the decision. But I think if you inform them, they're going to value that. So even when they're ready to transact, in the beginning of the year, they're going to remember that you gave that value.
Yeah, exactly. Right? So it's making an impression on them, demonstrating value. You can't force someone to buy or sell, but you can educate them on what's happening in the market and then see if it makes sense for them.
Exactly.
Right? The other thing that I would do is I would start lining up your appointments and your follow-ups for a future date. So for example, if I talk to a seller today who says, I want to sell, but I don't want to do anything, during the holidays, then the next question I would ask is, okay, when would you want to start talking about selling your home? Yeah. Right? Well, maybe after the new year. Okay, why don't we go ahead and pencil in a tentative appointment for January 15th, and what I'll do is I'll follow up with you maybe the week before and just make sure we're still we're still good to meet. Right?
No, I agree.
But you're starting to plant those seeds and just inch them forward little by little.
And you're going to see a lot of that come November and December with our sellers, that they're going to want to wait till after the new year, which is it's understandable at times, right? So I think it's making sure as an agent that you are lining up your January with appointments, right? So then you start off the new year with that momentum, which carries over into the first quarter and then for the rest of the year.
Yep,
right?
exactly. Now let's look at it from a calendar standpoint, right? Because this is another thing we talk to our agents about, is anything you get in contract, right? Whether it's a listing that you get that goes pending or a buyer in contract, if it doesn't get in contract before the end of November, it's probably going to roll over into January, right? Because we're looking at a 30-day average close of escrow, right? Give or take. So you have to basically get all your deals in contract by December 1st, right? If that, maybe a few days before, because the holidays, some banks are closed, title companies closed. So you lose a few working days in the month of December, right?
And people go home early too.
People go home early, right? They take off. Everyone gets like in this Christmas shopping mode, right? Or vacation mode. And so even some places shut down. But I would say if you're like, hey, I still need to hit my goal, right? Then what you probably need to do is you need to turn up the gas now, right? In October and November, so you can try to squeeze every opportunity you can. Maybe double down on your prospecting, double down on your follow-up, because you're going to have to talk to more people, right, to get the same amount of deals. Because naturally, some people are going to pull back, right?
And I think that it's good to understand, like you said, the calendar as an agent, because once you understand the calendar, you'll understand how many more working days you have until the new year. Right? And so if you make it that simple, like, okay, cool, I only have a good 40 days of working days, well, then that means that you're got to push really hard during those 40 days to go ahead and help as many clients as possible and set as many appointments so you're set up.
And that may mean you need to set the expectations with your family, with your loved ones, with whatever else you got going on outside. Like, hey, I really only have 40 days left to really crush it in my business, because the weekends, the holidays, all these different things. So like, hey guys, I'm going to be busy on these days, right? But on Thanksgiving and maybe the day after,
you can be present.
I'm present and I'm free, right? But up until that Wednesday, I'm pushing, right? I'm getting all my appointments in as much as I can, and then I'll take a couple of days off, and then I'm back to pushing until Christmas, right?
And I think, this is a great opportunity for agents to gain ground, right? Because unfortunately, a lot of people pull back. And when I say a lot of people, I'm saying a lot of agents, a lot of loan officers, they pull back. So if you want to gain some momentum or finish the year strong, there's still opportunity right now. Because even on the agent and loan officer side, there's going to be maybe less agents that are going to want to push right now. So if you're an agent out there and you're like, you know what, I want to crush my goal, I want to go ahead and continue that momentum for 25. There's an opportunity right now to gain some ground on the market.
Yeah, absolutely. And if we look at our business, right, like we're still, even in the months of November and December, we're still generating hundreds of leads every single month, right? People who are raising their hand saying, I'm thinking of buying, I'm thinking of selling, or I want to go tour a property, or I want to know what my home is worth. We're still generating those opportunities. Maybe it's a little less than the previous months, but the volume is still there. So if an agent does want to work, like there's still people out there that do want to buy and sell, right?
And I'm glad you brought that up, because talking with my agents, earlier this week, they're telling me that the buyers and sellers that they're talking to right now, they're talking with less, like you said, but they're more serious. They're more serious about doing some type of transaction, serious about selling or serious about buying. So I think, you may have less to choose from of the leads, but the ones that are looking to buy and sell right now, they're motivated. They're definitely motivated to transact.
Yeah, let's an example. Let's say you're used to generating, 10 or 15 leads a month from whatever you're doing. Maybe now you're only getting 5 to 7, but those 5 to 7, if they're out at open houses, if they're inquiring online right now, that means they're interested, right?
Exactly.
And so you're kind of cutting away the ones that are just kind of looky-loos, and you're getting the ones who, they're showing intention, right? So if it was me, I would be all over those, right? All over those, doubling down, making sure I'm following up with every single lead I have at least 10 times, right? We talked about this, right? Not just calling once or twice, but there's a stat that says on average it takes at least 10 communications to move somebody forward, right? So that's a way you can measure, like, hey, am I calling every single lead or following up at least 10 times, right? Is it logged in my CRM? Are there text messages, emails, phone calls, etc., right?
No, I think it's important. I mean, it's going back to that 10 times, it's important to do that, because the client will let you know what they want to do. So I know what I feel a lot of agents get in their own head, like if I'm calling someone or messaging someone 10 times, that maybe I'm bombarding them or I'm bugging them.
Yeah.
But I want us to understand that it's, our job to go ahead and give that value, and the clients will let you know how to follow up.
Yeah.
If it's too much, they'll let you know. If they're going to put it on hold, they'll let you know. But you won't know unless you talk to them.
Unless you talk to them, right?
You got to get a hold of them.
A good little takeaway for you guys before we get wrapped up is a good question. This is something I heard from somebody else. I think it's a powerful statement. Is when you're talking to someone on the phone, is you ask them, hey, what is the next step for you to get closer to buying or selling, right? By just incorporating that into your script and your dialogue, you're letting them tell you what has to happen next, right? If they're like, well, I think I need to, review my finances, then you can say, okay, great. Why don't we get you on the phone with the lender?
Yeah.
Or, hey, you know what? I need to find the right home, right? Okay, great. Why don't we set a time to go shop for homes? Or, hey, I need to know what sort of renovations I need to do on my home to sell. Okay, great. Why don't we set up a walkthrough with our contractor, right?
Yeah.
And so that's something that we're starting to utilize now. It's very simple, right? But in the past, we were asking it a different way. But by doing this, like the client is going to tell you what you need to do, and then you make your recommendation from there.
Yeah, no, I like that. I like it. The client obviously always has control, but you let them tell you what is the next step for them. And I think it makes it clear as an agent. Now we can provide a solution, right? Whether it's financing, whether it's a contractor, whether it's finding their next home before they sell, we can go ahead and really dive deep into solving that concern.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, we wanted to make this video today because I think this is an issue that a lot of people face, right? It's the holidays tend to slow down, but I'll be the first person to tell you is your business does not have to slow down during the holidays, right? It's really up to you. It's really up to how you view your business. It's really up to you controlling what you can control and ultimately putting in the work, right? So that you could finish off the year strong and start the new year strong, right?
Exactly.
Our business is built off momentum, right? And when that momentum stops, it takes time to get back in there, right? And get up and running. So my suggestion is don't take long extended periods of time off if you don't have to. Now, if you had a pre-planned vacation or something, I get it. Handle it, right? Go be with your family. But don't just take time off just to take time off, right?
Yeah.
Stay in the game. Keep the ball moving forward. Keep that momentum forward.
Keep pedaling the bike.
Keep pedaling the bike, right? Whatever you want to call it. And it's going to make this quarter, so much more, productive for you. Yeah. And it's going to allow you to start the new year a lot stronger.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So I hope this video finds you well. If you guys need coaching, if you need tips or anything like that, feel free to reply to wherever you see this video, and we'll go ahead and share the knowledge. We'll talk to you guys soon.